What's up, Juventini Alberto here. Got all your Juve news, all right? We got a shakeup coming at management, all right? But what does this mean for certain players that could have been hitting the market this summer? Then Juve is eyeing a double swoop. And does it also give us an indicator or sign as to what the decision is going to be made at the head coaching role, all right? So all of that to cover, as well as a date brought to us from Romeo Agresti in terms of when we should see a balanced budget at Juventus, all right? We might have to strap our seatbelts on. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the HAC. Let's rock. First things first, we got a birthday shout out going out to Sammy Khedira, all right? Was with Juventus from 2015 to 2021, winning 5 Scudetti, 3 Coppa Italia, and 1 Supercoppa, all right? So big birthday shout out going out to Slam and Sammy, all right? Now we get to the managerial shakeup Juventus is looking at, okay? So Manna is set to join apparently Napoli on a 5-year deal, okay? So with this, it is said he is going to set his sights on certain Juventus players that obviously he is going to be familiar with his time at Juve, and one of those names is Mattias Sule, all right? So apparently Mana's first piece of business would be to try and bring over Sule to Napoli, all right? As far as Cherubini goes, he is increasingly closer to Parma according to Mirko Di Natale, all right? Now, in terms of Napoli going after Mana and everything, we heard yesterday that De Laurentiis brought up Giuntoli's name in terms of the charges on false accounting in the Osimhen transfer deal. Now, as far as Giuntoli goes, he had no signatory power during that time. He had little involvement in that deal. We don't expect anything to come from it. However, this could be a similar situation to what happened with Arrivabene, even though he wasn't even around for the issues that Juve faced yesterday. So we have to wait and see. It is Italy, I will remind everybody, and you just never know. But he should see nothing coming out of this, and there really is no fear from Tuttosport, a Turin-based paper, and a lot of the outlets around Turin and Juventus. No real concern there, all right? But again, you just never know. In terms of Allegri, it is clear that what we are seeing is he is going to remain until season's end no matter what. Outside of that, the list continues to grow of journalists, of media, of sources or whatnot, believing that a change will come at season's end. And it is Motta who is being named as the favorite to take over if Allegri should depart Juventus or should be sacked. Regardless of the outcome, Motta is being named as the favorite, okay? And Juve also eyeing up a couple of players. Calafiori and Ferguson are high up on the target list for Juventus. Is this an indication of trying to sweeten the pot for Motta, who will potentially have some options? Right now, we're not hearing a lot about interest abroad in Thiago Motta, but there is going to be a lot of positions up for grabs. And maybe that's a way for Juve to try and sweeten the pot. But the rumors around Ferguson and Calafiori continue to heat up with Juventus trying to bring in those players this summer. Another player Juve is monitoring is Carnesecchi. However, we know price tag 25 to 30 million euros. It does seem unlikely that they can make that happen, but who knows what Juve is going to do as far as selling, okay? And one of the big names is Bremer. Today, Romeo Agresti says that if an offer comes in close to that release clause, that Juve would definitely consider moving Bremer even this summer. So if that's the case, Calafiori being one of our targets, I absolutely like that, but I would push to get Hermoso on a free, who has been linked with Juventus, and Juve has actively been scouting the defender a lot, but they are going to do battle with Inter for Hermoso, as Inter has entered the race to try and land that player's signature, all right? In terms of extensions at Juventus, Chiesa and Juve currently working on that bridge contract, all right, to take him to one more year extension and then try and sort out what is going to happen. However, with Vlahovic, apparently they still need to have a better idea of what their resources are going to look for at Juventus, so talks are on hold until the end of the the season on Vlahovic contract. With Cambiaso, Juventus currently working on a multi-year extension for the player, and it is also to fend off Premier League interest, which is growing. So far, a couple of teams, Aston Villa and Fulham, interested in Andrea Cambiaso. All three of these guys named as 5 pillars of Juventus moving forward by the majority of the fan base. All right, so, and it's hard to disagree with what we're looking at. But again, there are a couple other players in those pillars. Some named Locatelli in there. Locatelli, Romeo Gresti says something that I've been saying for several weeks now. Next year is going to be the year of truth, in Romeo Agresti's words, for Locatelli. I called it make or break year. All right, so we will see what happens with Locatelli. The other is, of course, Bremer, and we know what could happen there. In terms of training, Chiesa sat out training today with flu-like symptoms. Milik also apart from training still currently. All right, another little tidbit from Romeo Gresti on the budget, and he says Juve's aim is to balance the budget by 26-27 season. Buckle up if that's the case. I still believe it's not this coming summer, but the following one, all right? Going into the 25-26 season, I believe we will reach the balanced budget state. But, of course, some performance in competitions and those resources could affect that as well as sales. So let's see what happens. That's your news break. You guys know the drill. Hit me with everything you think. Motta, is he the favorite? Should he be the favorite? Do you want to see someone else? Bremer, if money comes in close to that release clause, how do you feel about moving him, all right? What do you think about my plan with Ferguson, or excuse me, with Calafiori and Hermoso? Those are the guys I would pick to come in and, of course, integrate Huijsen into the team. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Let's mix it up in the comments. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Daily News, all right? As always, no matter what, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.